Hi friends, welcome to episode 82 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadir Atani. I'm coming to you today from a very windy Central Florida in my backyard. Yeah, I'm going to try to do this episode with like minimal, if not zero editing, because I really want to get it up today. Today's Friday. That's all I got. April something. That's it. But because I'm late recording this, I really wanted to get it up today, so that's why we're not doing any editing. I apologize for the windiness, because I know that it's like howling into the microphone. My apologies. It was either that or film inside, and I just really wanted to be outside today. So, I also didn't write any show notes, so who knows how this is going to go. So basically what I'm going to do is not explode my soda everywhere. I grabbed my project bags that I've been carrying around recently, and we're just going to talk about what's in them, right? All right, so reaching into my giant tote bag. This is my Find Your Bliss tote bag from Nerdberg Makery. One of my absolute favorite images to date. I just threw everything in here, so let's talk about it. This is my first project that's coming out the bag. Nothing is in order. We're just gonna go with it. This is a bag that I got from Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. Did she make this for me for my birthday? I think this was for my birthday. And I have some pins on here. I have Happiness is Crochet, and I have a Pisces enamel pin. But inside here is a knitting project with a pin that says Happiness is Crochet. I'm an Omni-Tecton, remember guys? But this project is the Retreat Shawl by Dawn Henderson, who's also known as Dawn Landix. Judy, stop yelling! Who's also known as Dawn Landix on Instagram. What I'm going to do about the show notes, I'm going to post this, and then I will probably go back and update the description bar with all the show notes and links and everything. So if when you watch it, there are no show notes and you want to know something about something I said, check back later. That's what we're going to do. But the Retreat Shawl is an asymmetrical, whatever, triangular shawl. And it's reverse stockinette, and then ends with like some cable detailing. So I'm in the reverse stockinette portion, and this yarn is Barocco Remix Light, I think, and it is so pretty. Like that purple, I'm not even really a purple girl, but it's giving me all of the heart eyes. I'm supposed to be knitting this on a, I think it was a size 4mm needle. My size 4 is like in a project right now, so I think I'm using a 4.5. What's this? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I'm using a 4.5, and it's fine. I don't have the right amount of yarn. I just cast on with reckless abandon because this week has been a week. Like, and I just needed something like to hold on to, right? It's been I have no words, guys. I have no words. There have been days where I couldn't put words to how I was feeling. Like I was just down in that way that, you know, if you stay there too long, that it's gonna be so hard to get back up. Like in the sinking, I kept telling myself things, you know, like I always say, like refuse to sink, lay back and float, keep your eyes up, tread water, like all of these things, right? I kept telling myself these things, but this was that time where it wasn't really working. Like the downness got too big for me this week. But I mean, that's okay, because another thing that I always tell myself is if it can swing down, it can swing back up. It's science. So in this moment right now, I'm feeling okay. And that's good. Today has been a good day. I got through the week, so thumbs up, right? But anyway, I cast this on a couple days ago, and I literally just picked up the ball of yarn and I was like, I'm going to knit with this. And I find Dawn's Instagram feed so peaceful that when I was feeling like, oh my gosh, I need something that's going to be peaceful and calm and like a buoy, like I need a floaty right now. There is no laying on my back and floating. I am sinking. I am a rock. And I needed a floaty, and this pattern was my floaty. And I'm gonna stop talking about it because I feel myself getting a little choked up. Like I felt the tears. So yes, in the reverse stockinette part, I'm just knitting back and forth, and it was and is just what I need. So thank you, Dawn, for this pattern. Thank you for creating it. Thank you for making it available. Thank you for making your space so peaceful. And thank you for being in my life. So let's keep it moving. Okay, who's next? This is a bag that I made myself out of my first like machine embroidered piece. Radiate positivity always. I try, guys. I'm trying to stand in front of mirrors and radiate the positivity back at myself. But this is holding my Man on the Moon socks. Is that what these are called? I think so. But I think the last time you guys saw them, they were... This one wasn't finished the last time you saw... Well, it's not finished now, but this one wasn't to this point the last time you saw them. So I knit just a tube, put the toe on. You can see like how my gauge changed. Like here you can visually see it, and then here I think either my gauge changed or just how the yarn was dyed was slightly different, but whatever, I don't care. And I have the second sock. Hello. I have the second sock cast on. So, ta-da! Aw, it makes kind of a heart if you squint and turn your head sideways. So, okay, so it looks like I'm halfway there on this one. Lamar and I are going to the movies today, so I'm going to take this with me. We're going to go see Endgame. So, yep, that's going to happen. There's really nothing to say about these socks. They're vanilla. They're going to be Afterthought heel socks. I'm just knitting around and around and around. And some of the days this week where I was feeling particularly like down or listless, or like nothing good can come of me, what am I doing with my life, I just knit on these two, or I knit on these also. Yeah, you guys haven't seen this bag in a while, and that is because I put this project on a timeout, not because it was being bad or anything, but because I wanted to make it bigger. So this is the Prairie Wind Shawl by Jaya Lakshmi. And yeah, so it starts out, it's a triangular shawl. Am I losing stitches? It's a triangular shawl, and then it has a lace border. And I am a fan of big shawls, and I wanted to make it bigger. And I didn't want to sit and do the math to figure out how many stitches I could go up to so that the lace matched up and blah blah blah. So I put it on timeout. I sent a message to the designer and asked her like what the math was, and she messaged me back and said that she would get back to me. But then I got impatient and decided to work out the math myself. So I was able to do that. So I know how many more rows I need to do in order to once again hit a stitch count that makes the lace fit. And that was a whole lot of math. And like, I have a newfound respect for knitwear designers that do lace. 'Cause baby. Anyway, so I have brought this back out of timeout. I am knitting on it once again. I think I have to do like something crazy like 40 rows, I think. No, 20, something like that. It's written down in my notes. But this yarn is Mitchell's Creation, and it is the Old Lucky You colorway. And then the lace I'm going to do in a yarn by Birch Hollow Fibers. I forgot what color it is, but I have it caked up in my room, ready to go whenever I get there. So, yay! That's all of my works in progress. So, what we're going to do now is talk about some stashquisitions. Yes. I have a new friend. I have two new friends sitting next to me. Okay, first let me just preface this with when I get down, one of the first things that I want to do is buy stuff. But on one of my particular down days, I was in Hobby Lobby. I think I went there looking for something and came across this other thing, which was on clearance. Don't know why, because it's like new. And let me get it so that everything will fit back in the box, because of course I opened it. I didn't put it together though. Can you see it? Can you see it? It's a loom, and it's adjustable. It's an adjustable loom kit. You can't read that at all. There we go. It's an adjustable loom kit. Oh, let me just show you here. And it comes with all this stuff, all these doodads and whatnots and hoo-hoos. But I had seen this in Hobby Lobby before, and I was actually put off by the price, because the regular price was $40. And I was like, my little fake looms are fine. I don't need a $40 loom kit. So when I was in there the other day, it had been reduced to 10. I was like, I can do $10. And I have been like feeling the desire to do some more of those round weavings. I think it was the episode where I showed you guys my sun weaving, that somebody suggested that I do all the planets. Let me tell you, I almost lost my mind when I read that comment, first of all. And I think that's a genius idea, and I'm totally gonna do it. So over the last like maybe day and a half, I've been like, that idea has been popping up in my head more. So that's gonna be a thing. And yeah, I think one of the biggest ways that I cope with like downswings and like when my brain gets all kerfuffled and just hates everything is I have to like make things with my hands, and that just brings me so much peace and like calm. And it's almost an active fight against like the negative thoughts that I have, because when I start feeling down, right, I have a whole lot of negative self-talk, and most of it is basically telling me about how trash a person I am and how I am not worth being here, right? So that's what my mind does, and that's what I get stuck in. And I find that when I get stuck in those places, that if I can create anything, like anything with my hands, and I can look at that thing and I say, if you were not worth anything, you could not make something beautiful. And that's how I fight, right? And so I feel like the more tools I have to help me in this fight, this is a weapon, okay? This is a weapon in the war on negative self-thought. And I got it on a discount. So that's where I am right now. So I haven't like cracked into it yet. It's still in the box, because I have been more interested in my other friend that I have next to me. Now, let me tell you guys a quick little story, if Mother Nature will allow me, in between her windstorms. Last week on the podcast, I was talking about how I was getting back into drop spindling. And like I showed you guys the fibers I was using and stuff like that, and it was great. And then I started talking about how I wanted a spinning wheel. And I've wanted a spinning wheel for a really long time. And but it's always been like out of the budget, right? Like comically out of the budget. So Tootie, no. So last Friday was like the day when all of like we're just gonna call it trash brain, when all the trash brain kicked off. It was last Friday. It was it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday was trash day. Friday, compounded trash day. And it was just not a good look in Kalisha land. But so since I had been talking about wanting a spinning wheel, I decided to, go look and see if somebody was selling one on Craigslist. And what do you know? Somebody was selling one on Craigslist in Central Florida. I was like, oh my Lanta, am I getting a wheel this weekend? So they were selling a a Babe wheel, and the Babe wheels are the ones made of PVC pipe, and like the wheel is a wheelchair wheel, I think, like a composite wheelchair wheel. It doesn't matter what it's made out of. Actually it does, because that's specifically what they make their wheels out of. So of course, because it's made of PVC pipe and the wheelchair wheel, they are a low, like way lower price point. I think this wheel new, I want to say, is like $250 roundabouts, and the person that was selling it for $150. So I was just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. When am I ever going to like have an opportunity like this again? So I messaged them, and they had posted this wheel up for sale back in March. So I was just like, certainly someone has snatched up this deal and it's not going to be available anymore, and they just haven't taken it down off of Craigslist. So I sent them a message, and of course it was still available, y'all. So let me just bring her over here. She needs a name also. I have a spinning wheel, guys. I'm so excited. Lamar and I went to go pick it up because of course I wasn't going by myself because I don't want to be kidnapped. But we went to go pick it up on Sunday, and I was able to, like, I'm not gonna say like a haggle, because it wasn't really a haggle. It was more like, will you take $125? And she said yeah. So I was like, bet. So we went to go pick it up, and she was telling me about the wheel and everything like that. It's a single treadle, so she was like, be careful, because when I first got it, I spun like the whole day, and then I couldn't walk the next day because you're just using the one leg. So I was like, okay. And I told her that I had never used a wheel before, so she started to like show me, you know, how it works and what you do and blah blah blah. And then she realized that when she was pushing the treadle, the bobbin wasn't turning. So then she realized that the drive band was missing. So I was able to get another $5 off because of the missing drive band. So woot woot for savings. Okay. Because it was missing the drive band, I couldn't spin on it. But because I'm a DIYer, I was like, certainly there has to be something that I can find to make it work. So I took it to, where did we go? I took it to Lowe's, Home Depot, Advanced Auto Parts, trying to find some sort of belt or something that could go around so that I could like make it work. And the best part of taking this wheel into these hardware stores was that nobody knew what it was. And then, so I did a whole lot of, it's a spinning wheel, like Rumpelstiltskin. And then they would go, oh, okay. And like, anyone who helped me out in the stores was like so interested in trying to problem solve and fix it and make it work, because they'd never seen anything like this before. So that was like really fun. Like, I feel like this wheel brought me a lot of joy, but it also brought random people in the hardware store a lot of joy. So I didn't find anything to replace the drive band in the stores. So the previous owner had told me, like, you can probably use a shoestring or something like that. And I was just like, can you? So when I got home, I had already decided I'm just going to buy a replacement drive band, which is what you see right here. When I got home, I decided to try like yarn. So I took some just regular fingering weight yarn, tied it around there, and it worked. Now, I could make the wheel go, but if ever I had to stop it, it would continue to spin a little bit because there was really no grip from the yarn. So I was able to practice like treadling and feeding, you know, the fiber in. So what I did to practice that, I took 2 balls of sock yarn. This is Patton's Croy FX in the Clover Colors colorway, and then just a white Serenity sock. And I essentially plied them together just to practice like the motion of treadling and moving my hands, because new skills, guys. I thought that I was just gonna pick it up and go and be spinning amazing things. That's not how it works. Oh, there's something in my eye. Oh gosh. So I spun the whole Patton's Croy, because Patton's Croy is a little bit thicker than the other sock yarn. So yeah, I spun that whole thing, and this is what it looked like. So it kind of reminds me of like a circusy type situation. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. There's definitely places where it's more like tightly spun and then looser spun and not even. But of course, this is the very first thing. Actually, this is the second thing that I've spun on this wheel. The first thing was because I jumped in and was like, I can do this, was this. So we've got a little bit of this gray fiber. This is what it is. I got this from a yarn shop in somewhere, Gainesville. I got this from Yarnworks in Gainesville. This is 100% domestic wool, wool roving. Oh, it's from Kramer Yarns. Look at that. And the colorway is shiitake. So that's where I got this yarn, or this fiber. And it's just been sitting in my stash, like looking at me. So I decided to try to spin it. And as you can see, not the best, but I was super excited. Like, oh, can you see how lumpy that is right there? You might not be able to, but that portion is like super overspun. But this is what I was able to spin with the yarn drive band. I just got the actual drive band in the mail yesterday afternoon, so I haven't like tried spinning with it yet. But yeah, so the only things that I need to get now for the wheel are a couple more bobbins, like standard bobbins, because the previous owner gave me, like, of course, all of her bobbins and stuff like that, and she had one standard bobbin and like I think 4 lace bobbins, which is this size. So that's the standard, that's the lace. And what I have learned so far from the videos that I have been watching online is that the smaller the whirl, like the drive band goes across here, so the smaller the whirl, the thinner the yarn you can spin, because they spin faster. So the larger the whirl, the larger the yarn. You learn something new every day. So I'm all ready to spin lace yarn. Too bad I can't yet. So I need to get a couple more standard bobbins so that I can have ones to spin onto and then ones to ply onto. And yeah, what else is in this bag? Okay, there's nothing else in it. This is like the bag of goodies that came with the wheel. Yeah, so I need to name her, and I also am thinking about yarn bombing her. I think that's gonna happen. And I think that's everything, guys. Yes. So, yeah. Not really. I'm not. Oh no, that's not everything. We've got more Sinryus for NaPoWriMo. Okay. All right. Last time I was up to number 15. Now I am up to number 23. So I think I'm like, I don't know how many days behind I am. I think I'm 3 days behind. I don't know what today's date is, so there's that. So I'm gonna read you a couple of my new poems. Okay, so at the beginning of this project, I was like, oh, I'm gonna split them up, and we're gonna have 10 poems for like starting a project, 10 poems for the work in progress, and then 10 poems about the finished object. That has gone out the window. I'm just writing poems around being a yarny. So we got number 16. I sat down with yarn and made a hat that kind of looks like a pillow. Number 18. Please don't talk to me if I'm intensely counting. It's for your own good. Number 20. Amigurumi is a word for toys I make whose heads are not straight. And number 21. Only through working can loose and fragile fibers become a sound yarn. So, yeah, so I did put the highlight up that I was talking about last episode. So there is a highlight on my Instagram profile of each one of the Sinryus. So once I finish the whole collection, they will all be up there. I think it's up to 16 or 19 now. But yeah, I am really enjoying this project, and it seems like you guys are as well. So if you want to read all of the poems that I have written so far for NaPoWriMo, you can go to my Instagram, and then on my profile there's a highlight that's called Weaving Tales, Poems by a Yarny. And this is what the cover looks like. Can you see that? Yep. Weaving Tales, Poems by a Yarny. NaPoWriMo 2019. So yes, that is everything. I hope you guys are still with me. I hope that the wind didn't anger you too much. As much as I wanted to do this with no editing, I am going to go back and edit so that I can take out all of those crazy wind moments. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. Thank you for giving me a space that I can like come and talk about crafty things and talk about feelings and emotions when I feel the need. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my universe. And as always, leave a comment down below of something positive that happened to you in the past week or whenever. I do really, really value those. Like when you guys share your bright spots, like it does bring happiness and joy to other people. So leave a comment. And yeah, if you're going to go see Endgame, don't spoil it for any of your friends. Peace out, guys.